This is Chris, the Idaho Painter here on Paint Live TV. Today, I got a project behind me, and I'm going to be painting this metal door right here with a product from Rust-Oleum. It is their turbo spray system can, oil-based paint from Rust-Oleum. If you want to see me spray this door with a spray can, get professional results, stay tuned for this video. All right, I got a can of Rust-Oleum right here, and this is a turbo spray can, and I'll show you. So it's got a different type of nozzle. It's a wide fan nozzle that sprays 4 times faster for painting large projects, and it says it's a 24-ounce can, and it sprays up to 10 inches wide. So we're gonna put this thing to the test. I just tested it off camera here, and man, it sprays a lot of paint out. But this is an oil-based product for high traffic areas, Rust-Oleum. So I got a door right here. This is a high traffic door on the backside of a building, and we're gonna be spraying it with this product right here. And a can like this for large projects, it could come in handy if you don't have the ability to hook up an airless sprayer, or you don't own an airless sprayer, or you don't want to deal with messy oil-based paints in your airless sprayer, cleaning up, setting up, and all that stuff. You got a spray can right here. So this spray can should spray this whole entire door. We should get professional results. So I'm going to put it to the test. I've never sprayed a door with something like this, but I'm kind of excited about the opportunities and not having to load up my sprayer with oil-based paints and clean it with mineral spirits. So I'm gonna start prepping this door. I've got some stuff to do. I've got to take off this plate right here. I'm not gonna be painting the trim right here, but I'm just gonna be painting the face of this door because they want to put a sign on the back here and just want it to look a little bit better. It's a little bit chalky, so I need to clean that chalkiness off the door. I don't have the luxury of removing the doorknob, so I'm gonna have to mask that and spray around that. I'm gonna remove the weather strips. We'll mask this thing off and start spraying it. So we're gonna see how this turbo can sprays and what kind of finish it sprays. It's an oil-based paint product that dries really, really fast. It's an anti-corrosive product for high traffic areas. It bonds really well. So it's a great option for a metal door like this. So let's get to the painting process, or better yet, let's get to prepping and then painting. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this thing all dusted off. I've got some spider webs, around the back of this thing. I'm gonna start removing some of the stuff off this door. I'm gonna be masking. I got a simple hand masker I'm gonna be using to mask with. I've got this is a guard plate right here I'm gonna be removing that keeps people from breaking into this place easily. So I have the luxury of removing this thing at least. So I'm gonna remove this. And then we'll just paint this by itself individually. We'll lay it down on a piece of cardboard and paint it. And then I'm going to be cleaning this door. I'm going to clean it off with a product, cleaner degreaser product, crud cutter. I'm going to grab my crud cutter, spray that on here so that can start drying. This thing just removes with a Phillips head screw. I'm going to be masking with some frog tape, blue and green frog tape. I don't want anything bleeding through on anything I don't want painted. Good to have just a duster brush to get things dusted and cleaned off. Once again, I don't have the luxury of removing the door, so I'm going to be just masking off my hinges with frog tape right there. I'm going to spray on my crud cutter. I just got a rag. So this is going to get some of this chalkiness off. You can see your paint will have a problem adhering to that chalky surface. So I don't have the luxury of power washing and stuff back here behind this building. So this will work just fine. I do have some water back here. I'm gonna scrub it and then I'll rinse it off with water. make sure there's no contaminants on it. So this is just crud cutter. It's a cleaner degreaser. My clean water will help get more of the chalkiness off. This is just gonna help clean the surface. So I got my crud cutter on there. Now I'm just gonna rinse my rag and get more of this chalky residue off here. Now it's important to keep cleaning your rag, otherwise you'll just be smearing it around this chalky residue. If you're spraying like with a latex paint, that's a product called Emulsibond will help your latex paint bond to a chalky surface. But we're going to be able to get all this stuff off. And then it's back here, it's fairly warm today. So this should dry off extremely fast for me to be able to mask and spray it. It's not a porous surface, it's just a metal surface, so I don't have water absorbing into the surface. When it comes to, painting something like this, the prep work is really important, especially on a high traffic door like this. Get good adhesion of your product. If your water starts to get too dirty, you'll get some clean water. Now, one of the things you can do to test whether your door is clean, and now if you could just wipe your hand on it and see if you've got any residue on your hand, you should have a pretty clean hand. If not, just clean it a little bit more. I'm gonna get a dry rag, wipe it down really quick. If you gotta do any sanding or rust removal, this is the time to do that. Rust-Oleum does have some products, rust inhibited primers, that will stop rust, but this door is in good condition and ready to go. So I'm gonna start masking this thing off, get it all prepped and ready to spray. Now, all the customer was concerned about is spraying the face of the door. We're not spraying the inside edge of the door on either side, so they only wanted just the face of it sprayed. So I'm using frog tape, blue frog tape. This is like frog tape green, but it's the contractor packs. So it comes in 4 packs, but has the same polymer that swells up that green frog tape has, so I won't get any bleeding underneath the tape. I want to have a nice crisp line on the inside edge of this door. So I'm just going to get some frog tape on the inside edge here, and then on my other edge on the opposite side. So I'm going to put a strip of frog tape right here, inside here also. Then I'll wrap paper around this. Now I've got my edges all masked. Now I'm gonna wrap some masking around the door jamb. I've never sprayed with one of these spray cans before, so I'm not sure about overspray. So I'm gonna, just to make sure, I'm going to give myself 2 rows of paper around my door jamb. Being an oil-based paint, you can't just, if you got to overspray, you can't just wipe it off with water. So I'm gonna give myself this side too. Got a very slight breeze today. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm gonna mask off my hinges with tape after I get the perimeter papered off. I'm gonna put a row of paper on the threshold. There's no weather strips, so I want to make sure no overspray goes on the opposite side. Put some paper down. And then I'll drop a drop cloth on the inside of that floor also. My door, it's not a smooth or glossy door, so I don't have to do any sanding. It's got a nice porous surface to it that the paint's gonna bond really well to. So now I'm gonna get the high stuff masked off here. I'm gonna make sure I don't have any leaks here. Masking in the wind is always a challenge. It's a slight breeze today, but it's nice because it's a little bit cooler back here today than it was yesterday. So the paint will dry a little bit slower, gel out, hopefully a little bit nicer. But with oil-based paints, one thing you always have to be concerned about is overspray. If it's too windy, you don't want to paint. One thing you can do, here's a little trick, is to you can tack your paper like this. Now it'll create a flap opposite side. So you bend it and it'll create a flap just like that to help stop overspray. So I'll show you what that looks like right here. Keep overspray from shooting up this direction. Take your paper just like that. Tack it just like that, so it creates this flap now for the overspray to hit. If I wanted to control the overspray from going down that direction, I could do the same thing here. If I was really concerned, I'm not concerned about it, but if I was concerned about it, I would fold this over like this, tack it just like that. Now it just creates this flap sticking up in the air. Your prep work is always extremely important, so you don't make a mess, so you don't create overspray that you're gonna have to clean up, get off of areas you don't want it on. We're just about ready to go. I've got to mask off my hinges and my doorknob. Being a fast dry oil paint, I'll be able to pull this masking, open this door up pretty quick too after I spray it. The last thing to mask is our doorknob. So when I mask this thing, I want to make sure I'm not onto the door and I'm on the knob about less than a 1/16. And if you mask onto the door, then you're going to see the door color when you pull your masking. So I want to be very precise masking this. And I'm just going to wad this up, get it nice and tight so I can spray around this doorknob effectively. One of the keys to masking a doorknob is not to get it on the door, and it's amazing if you're like half of a 1/16 onto that the doorknob itself, you won't get any paint bridging, and it'll look really nice once it's done. I'm gonna shake up my can really good. It's good to have like a piece of cardboard or something to test this thing out. So this is your same Rust-Oleum. You can get it in gallons. You could load it up in a sprayer and spray it with like a Titan 440 or something. But once again, this is, you know, large project, small project. I mean, I consider this, you know, a small project, but it'd be a large project for just a typical spray can. But this turbo system, here you can see it right there. It's got a wide spray fan. So it's a good idea to take some test runs with it before you spray it right on a door. And I'm just gonna spray it without any experience. Give it a try, just like spraying with an airless sprayer. You definitely want to wear, it's an oil-based product, so you want to wear a mask. Here we go. So now I've sprayed, 3 coats on this door. We'll see, it's already tacking up. Let's give it about 15 minutes and we'll pull the masking, see how it looks. So it's been hasn't even been about 10 minutes and it's already tacking up pretty good down here. Our wind has died down too, which is nice. But man, for a spray can, that was fast. And that sprayed out like a sprayer, like an airless sprayer. I'd say an airless sprayer is going to give you a little bit finer, finish. But man, if you didn't have access to an airless sprayer, you didn't have time to load up an airless sprayer, and you just needed to use a spray can, that sprayed out pretty incredible. I just did like a first coat, fog coat on there, and there was a little bit of fisheye on it, and I could have stopped right there and tried priming over the fisheye is tacking up like really fast. I sprayed a second coat and the fisheye didn't show up again, so I wasn't concerned about wiping it down. I wiped it down with the crud cutter, but there was obviously some type of contaminant on there that caused the fisheye, but it looks pretty good. You know, just put it on there, you know, light fog coat. Next coat was a little bit heavier. Next coat was about the same as the second coat. I'm gonna spray, I think I'll probably spray one more coat on here and then that'll be good. There you go. So that's 4 coats. I did use, this is this can's about half empty now. I used one other full can on that door. So four coats, a can and a half. And yeah, that door looks great. I'm extremely happy with the finish with this spray can, and I'm happy I don't have to clean up my airless sprayer and deal with that. So I'm gonna let this set a little bit longer, pull the masking. Once again, this is a product from Rust-Oleum, right? Turbo spray system. It says it's 4 times faster than traditional spray paint. Superior coverage and durability. It covered pretty amazing. You see, I just did a light fog coat to begin with because I never sprayed with it before. And my first pass, it started to slightly run on the first pass I saw, but luckily it was just a fog coat. So be careful when you're spraying it. If you haven't sprayed with it before, man, it throws out a lot of paint. You can see, you get too close, your edges right here, the bottom edge has a tendency to run. So I'm about a foot. You know, you want to be about 12 inches away from your surface. You get too close, bottom edge runs really easy. We're gonna start pulling this masking off here. See how well our tape performed. Just be really careful. It's only been about, I've sprayed 4 coats and it hasn't even been 20 minutes yet. But it's getting, see, it's all tacking up, drying extremely fast. But I don't want to start pulling my masking and have it flip onto my door. So I want to be very, very careful what I'm doing here. I do got my little plate that I need to paint here, wipe this thing off. So I do have my little guard plate. Yeah, I sprayed 1 coat on it. Just be really careful. You can see how fast it comes out. There we go. Now our guard plate is coated also. Yeah, I would typically leave this for about an hour before pulling it, but I'm gonna, to be able to show you guys what it looks like, I'm gonna pull it right away. Hopefully they don't do something bad. Just wad up your paper so there's no paint exposed, paint or tape. It's the fun part of painting, like the revealing your project. Again, I like wearing rubber gloves because you get oil-based paint on your hands. Then you got to clean it off with chemicals like mineral spirits and stuff, which isn't good for your system, your body. The last thing I want to do is pull off that handle. You really want that to be dry before you pull it off. And when I do that, I don't like to have my gloves on when I pull off my handles because I want to know exactly where my fingers are so I don't touch the door. It's still a little bit tacky. If you're really, really careful, now I'm going to let it completely dry before I attach my security plate and my weather strips, and then we'll show you what the door looks like. So just to give you an idea, like, the amount of time that it, cut down using a spray can like this. I did this door in less than an hour from start to finish, from the time I started taking it apart, prepping it, cleaning it, to spraying it. Now, if I was using an airless sprayer, I would have had to set up the airless sprayer, tear down the airless sprayer, clean it all up, and then I would have had the added expense of buying a gallon of mineral spirits to clean up my airless sprayer also. So once again, it's one of those convenient things, just being able to grab a spray can. And once again, it's the first time I've ever sprayed with the product, never used it before. Gave it a test run right here, live on video. All right, there you have it. Our door is all complete. Got it done with this Rust-Oleum turbo spray system. And once again, I chose, instead of using a latex paint, I chose an oil-based paint. I wanted to use Rust-Oleum because it's going to be extremely durable for this high traffic door with shipping stuff coming in and out of this door. So it's going to be less likely to scratch, chip, ding up, and it's going to be more resistant to chemicals, corrosion, and rust. So there it is. If you got any questions or comments, if you've ever used this product before, I know it's fairly new, but let us know down in the video description below. If you got any questions for me about it, about this process, just leave them down in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you get notified every time I come out with another cool video. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. That keeps these videos coming. A thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Out.